Hey, what's good, everyone? Guess what I'm not doing? Building a rocket in my backyard. Guess what I am doing? Making a video on perception, because I'm tired of hearing people say, well, if the Earth is flat, how come I can't see Mount Everest from my backyard? All right, let's do it. Hey everybody, this is me. I'm holding my surfboard. It's a huge surfboard. At least that's what I'm showing you. It's a huge surfboard. But actually, it's a plane. Now if I take this plane, and I put this plane here, it almost has to be closer. Alright, but if I take this plane, right, and I put it here, right, this plane looks like it's a huge plane in the background, but we all know that, you know, it's a tiny little plane. It's a little Micro Machines plane, right? It's a little plane. So now, why, when I put it close like this, is it big? And then when it gets further away from you, it starts to shrink. It's getting further and further away. Okay? So now, this is kind of what you see when you look up at the sky. You know, you see this little plane, about this big, you know, you're looking up, and it's this far away, you know. Planes on an average fly at 7.5 miles up. I have a little diagram. Alright? So, this is perception, right? So, when this plane, when it's dropping its, you know, not chemtrails, you know, when, this plane is way up here and it's flying along, it'll get to a point when it's so far that it's out of your vision, it's out of your perception, even though it's right there, because you know it's not going over the curve, you know it's not flying over the curvature, right? Well, I'm sorry, if you're a globe believer, if you notice as you watch the plane get further and further away and then eventually gets out of your view, you know that it's going straight because we're so tiny on this huge, massive construct, right? So, but the whole point is that it's getting further away. If you're looking at a building, here's my little diagram here. It's the little house is you, and then you can see it about 3 miles away on an average. Let's say you're looking out at the ocean, right? You know, and then here's a little plane up there. A little poorly drawn plane, and that guy flies, you know, that high, you know, and it's tiny. It's really, really tiny. And if you look out, you know, you can see some buildings. That's supposedly a 10-story building there, you know. But then obviously you can only see it so far away. Even when you roll up on Chicago, let's say, you're seeing those buildings from, you know, miles and miles away. You know, but they're not Mount Everest tall. Mount Everest is 29,000 feet. 29,000 feet tall. But as everything else, as it gets further away from you, it gets smaller. It gets further away. It's just how it goes. So if I was holding Mount Everest in my hand, right? And I did the same thing, right? And I just held it, and I took Mount Everest in your face, and I took it, and I just pulled it away from you. No matter what direction in the sky, in the way, eventually, it's going to get to a point where you can't see it, okay? It's perception. Perception. So you can't see Mount Everest from your backyard because you just can't see that far away.